Just right back, Charlie.
There's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like.
One love to everybody who's tuned in. Shout out all the Twitch gang. Shout out to everyone who's been supporting my content from, the DG podcast to obviously we went live on YouTube and focused on the men behind me. If you've got any questions on content, Arteta, let them go. And now we're here to a Twitch exclusive chat. So first things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. First things first, second thing, I hope everyone's got their health, physical, mental well-being and all of that sort of stuff. And I hope you're all moving that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, aspirations, and ambitions in life. If we're not trying to move obstacles, if we're not trying to be better than we was yesterday, there's no point being here in life, people. And I think, whether you're of that mindset or not, I don't think you can, in Arsenal's case, ask these players to take accountability, to show consistency and things, if you don't show that in your own life, really and truly. So, yeah, I mean, you lot, we're all of a similar mindset, regardless of our footballing opinions, or you lot wouldn't be here. So, one love to everybody tuned in. Obviously, we'll speak about Arsenal. If you've got any Arsenal related things, I typically like to speak about football from a neutral point of view in these live streams on Twitch and whatnot. So it is what it is. Locks, I'm there as well, my guy. I hope everything's well with you in particular and everybody. I've got my health. I'm a bit hot because it's quite hot over here in the UK. Bit hot, bit bothered, element of tiredness, natural fatigue as you go through the working day. Kind of excited to be doing Football Manager again in 4 p.m. Make sure you're here at 4 p.m, folks. I'll be back on Twitch. Apart from that, everything's all good, really and truly. I've got my health. I've got supporters like yourself. Life could be a lot worse, innit? So, man, I just have to keep grinding and trying and improving, man. Josh, Alex, Bando Boogie, your name always kills me, but nonetheless, I appreciate that you're locked in. Planet X, big up yourself as well, and one love for tuning in as well, people. One love to everyone. Get your opinions and all of those sort of things in comments, anything you want. Exactly, nothing. There's no such thing as a stupid question. One love to everybody who's hit the follow button on Twitch. Make sure you're following and subscribing and those sort of things and whatnot, man. A man said, DG, you're trying to set up custom channel points today for the FM stream. Now, I really forgot about that, man. My time management's been perfect, been terrible. We're live at 4. I need to go and handle some admin. We'll be done here at 3. I don't know how you do that, but why not, man? If not for this one, I promise the next one, innit? Because we're messing about and being lazy in that regards. But yeah, man, if anything, I might even need a short nap before that as well. Go to the thingy, man. What's them people called, man? You get your prescriptions and that. I need to go to the chemist. That's it, chemist and post office before that. So if we can do all of that in under an hour, why not? Why not, my dude, man? I hope everyone's well and safe, man. I'm there, my guy, man. I'm happy to be here with you lot, man. Ben Smith, appreciate you for being locked in. You're an even more of a legend, my guy. S, appreciate you. All of those sort of things. Like I said, Football Manager to come. After this, please make sure you're taking in the DG podcast and obviously my other live streams. But yeah, man, what do you lot want to know? It's not a Q&A, but like, get some footballing talking points in, people. Again, the first thing that I want to speak about, and that's done an absolute madness. I know his name isn't quite ringing bells to the scale it used to, but I mean, for me, Saul Niguez, Atletico Madrid. I know Atletico Madrid are broke. They need to get money. Saul's been linked with Man United in particular for years, so I don't know if it's going to happen, but he'd be a brilliant signing. Like in the DG podcast, we spoke about how, for me, United need, you can't really be prepared. Pogba out wide, drifting in or not, can't be them long term. Bruno, it stays there. But again, whether it's Fred, McTominay, Matic, none of them are good enough to really give, they can defend, they muck in, they try their hardest, but nobody can really do anything to the level Man United needs. You either play Pogba there, and Pogba gives you a lot collectively, there, but you kind of rob him of his individual sort of stuff that he also can give to the team. So for me, Saul will be a big boy signing. His experience, he's been around the block. I know his reputation has been taking a hit. He's somewhat stagnated, but him and Chelsea, that's fantastic signings. You know, Chelsea have been linked with him and Conde to go with Lukaku. It's what you'd expect if you've just won the Champions League, innit? Really and truly. And as I said, it'd be a good signing for both teams. And you know, I wish Arsenal could get involved, but I don't think we're going to. When you look at it, people, apparently he wants a Premier League move, and the comments aren't here, but allegedly he's wanted this move for a while. Apparently Saul is set to leave Athletic. Chelsea opened talks for Saul days ago. There's an official bid now on the table. It's a loan with an option to buy. Also, Manchester United have asked for Saul again in the last 24 hours. He's on this list of people they apparently want to go with Camavinga, and it looks like Camavinga might be going to PSG. So that one there might, you know, they might have to be more aggressive in their pursuit of obviously Saul. Now, I hope this is an article speaking about such. If not, it's going to be a bit orcs, but boy, it's not, is it? It's not. It's just a bag of madness. Man said Ronaldo tipped to join Spurs. These lot are on anything really and truly. Shout out to Valverde for signing a new deal to go with Benzema. But boy, oh yeah, we might actually have something. The Guardian reports that Manchester United remain in the hunt for Saul, who could surprisingly be available on loan from Atletico. Chelsea want another midfielder, and an inexpensive temporary deal for a quality player like Saul would make sense and would for United. This may all be the case for Atletico trying to drum up interest and spark an actual bidding war for a genuine transfer, but Saul could be well playing Premier League football in September, people. So we have to see what's going on. Side topic, but Southampton have confirmed the signing of Terry Small, 17-year-old. You know, if Timo Livermento's anything to go by, then, you know, Terry Small might find what he didn't think he could get at Everton and consistent football. And there's been a couple of signings brought in that regards from Southampton. So we're going to have to see. He signed a 3-year deal. That's good for him because he will sign an improved one even in the next 18 months. You know, and Southampton, listen, Terry Small's spoken about being an England international. Allegedly, Bayern wanted him, Arsenal wanted him, United, all of these teams, whether they're Chelsea, whether they wanted him or not, it's a different story. But, you know, there will come a time when he's going to leave, like with Tino Livramento. If he keeps developing, he's not going to be at Southampton. You know, he's 19. He's not going to be there at 22, 23, 24 and whatnot. So they'll make profit on these players, and they can obviously help them in the medium term. And obviously these players, provided they show up in training, they have a platform to play Premier League football, and the world keeps spinning, people. So yeah, South to Chelsea / Man United. That's the first. Where are we at with this? That's the first. Some of these timestamps aren't going to make sense. They were just general points, really, because I was really struggling of what the hell we're going to talk about here. But the Twitch gang has to go, man. DG, have you seen my recent performances at Southampton? Bro, Livramento is certified, man. Absolutely certified. Very good gaffer, really and truly. We've got another good question here, man. Big up S. You know, I have to make a timestamp for that one, my guy. You have said, well, not this. He said Arsenal might as well try on Eddie Howe. You had a better project. You had a better thingy than that. You said, do you think Potter would leave that Brighton project for Arsenal? I think he would. We got to remember, they almost got relegated last year, you know, and turned it around. I think he would. You know, similar to Arteta, let's be real, that would be the biggest job he's ever taken. You know, I think he would. I don't think Brendan Rodgers leaves, but I think he leaves Brighton. But at the same time, would it be worth it? Because Brighton are singing from the same hymn sheet. You know, they're backing you. They're replacing players. You know, they're doing decent things. They're building a unit, and they gave you a chance on you when no one else would, really. So it's not as close as I think, you know, but I do think out of, you know, if you was to ask me, Brendan Rodgers, would you leave Leicester for Arsenal? Conte, would you leave? Well, would you just, you know, Conte's got a full set of hair and enjoying his time off. Would you want to lose your hair and become bald like some players for Arsenal for nothing? I'm not sure. I think Eddie Howe, man said Eddie Howe. I think Graham Potter would relish it, to be fair with you. And he's a good manager, man. There's still a lot of question marks, still a lot of confirmations I want him to hit, but he's done, you know, I'm impressed with, well, you can't not be impressed with what he's doing at Brighton, yes, but I like what he's done at Ostersund's and things like that. And he, you know, he's got solid foundation. He's done the business at Swansea, he's done it at Ostersund's, he's been at Brighton since 2019. He's earning his chops. I don't know if the move for Arsenal is too early, but at least there's clarity. Like, you can see that we have improved under Arteta defensively, but you can see Brighton's defensive stuff is different. You know, they've lost Ben White. They're still defending competently. It looks like people who understand how they defend. You know, I would love him to come if Arteta leaves, and obviously make sure you bring Basuma with you. If you're not bringing Basuma, it's a myth. I would have to do a bit of research into everything he was doing at Swansea and everything he's done at Brighton, or speak to someone more in the know. But for me, I really like him. He's progressive. I wouldn't say he plays attacking football, but he promotes bravery. For me as well, he promotes bravery. He tries to play exciting football. He tries to, defend and whatnot, and offer something to the opposition. I would say, you hear he's very innovative in training and very forward thinking. I think he'd be good for that. And for me, the biggest quality, and again, I don't know if you'll be able to correlate at Arsenal, because, people at West Ham, Leicester, Brighton, these men are motivated off their own accord. He's shown flexibility tactically. That wasn't what I was going to say. There's an element of I don't know. You'd have to ask Brighton in it, but it just feels Brighton fans. But it just feels, as a neutral looking in, he's one of those managers that is able to get more out of average players. Obviously, you're going to hit a certain point, but he gets the maximum out of his players. I can't say we've got the maximum out of our players at Arsenal consistently. So I think there's that. And I like the way he thinks outside the box as well. Obviously, like I said, he can play it free at the back. He can do the 4. He thinks about the opposition. It's all right, man. I wouldn't mind that. No one's too good for any club, I don't feel, man. You say that. Conte's given the money. You give him a big enough contract. He's signing for Arsenal and a better enough project. I don't think anyone is too good for anyone in life, to be fair with you. But yeah, man, I'd be on Brent. I'd be on. Potter wouldn't be first on my list. I'm still waiting for that wow moment. But yeah, man, like, he's definitely someone to have a look at, someone to inquire about and whatnot. And he's definitely not the worst. People just won't like him because he's name brand. Because, obviously he wears a suit and stuff. And not to talk about a man's look, but he's a good manager, but he don't really look like the modern day sort of manager. He looks a bit like a nerd, and that he don't really look as polished and whatnot as the others. And I don't care about that. I'm just saying this is things that people use to kind of mark against him, where he doesn't really deserve it, if I'm completely honest with you. But it is what it is in that regards. Would you take Potter at Arsenal? Undoubtedly, yes. But again, there's probably a lot of mistakes he would have to make. Again, I don't think there's, I don't, and also I was just about to say, I don't know how he deals with characters. Obviously, there's not as many big prima donnas in the Brighton squad, I'd say, as Arsenal, but Mupé was feeling some sort of way. Mupé was disciplined last season, I feel, and now I don't know all the facts, but you're seeing him scoring 2 from 2. So he's shown he can get people back on side. He's shown he can play the game. If you listen to his comments about Basuma, he hasn't ruled out Basuma actually leaving. I'm not saying anyone's going to buy him. Clearly he knows how to, and for me, like I said, get the maximum out of players. Clearly he knows how to play some young players. He gave Ben White his first opportunity in the Premier League with Brighton, obviously. He's bought Lamptey. Lamptey's been shagged with injuries. You look at people like Solly March and Connolly, whether they've taken their opportunities is another thing, but they've also used him. I don't think Welbeck is amazing, and you can't use this as a sort of guide stick, but he's taking players that might look like damaged goods and has got a tune out of them. So that's something I believe any manager, whether it's Conte, whether it's Arteta, whether it's by God's grace, Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, I think that's something they have to take heed. So it's not a definitive yes. It's definitely not a no, is what I would say where Graham Potter's concerned. But this is all assuming if Arteta was to keep it stepping. But yeah, man. One love to everybody in the live chat. I hope everyone's well. Nice to see a lot of you turned up. You had me there, people. You had me there, folks. I was getting shook. Thought, oh, well, we got one of these. It is what it is, though, man. We keep moving. Saul ain't going nowhere this summer. He has a long contract, and Atletico won't let him below 50 million. Atletico aren't broke. Only Barca and Real Madrid is broke. I mean, we literally just read how there's financial issues with the club, but fair play. Welcome to the debate. We'll have to see, man. Let's hope for your sake he stays there, don't he? I just want to see Auer and Arsenal in the same Fabrizio tweet again, bro. Don't do it to your heart, man. Hope you're doing well, Danny. 4.5 KDG. What should I spend it on? Save it, man. Save your pennies. Save your pennies, man. Do you reckon the documentary filming is getting in the way at all? I mean, I doubt it, but it's a factor, bro. Alex, we're just shit because we're being shit, man. I don't think it's got nothing to do with any of that, man. Nico Kovac. Allow me. I like Ten Hag, but I'm not really. There's very few managers I'm fully convinced. I'm not even fully convinced on Conte. And as we said in the last live stream, it's nothing to do with the man's ability. You know, I rarely think there's a manager that fits things perfectly. Basuma would suit Liverpool perfectly. Yeah, look at you copying me after I said that in my last live stream and the one before. Don't try and make out that that's your own fault, S. I'm on to you. I'll take a mad scientist look, then a poster boy. Fair play when you put it like that. Would you take Sarri as an alternative to Conte? I mean, why not, man? You know, Conte plays. I mean, Sarri plays good ball. He's a bit stubborn. You know, there's certain things that are gonna happen, but at least he's got some footballing principles and them things there. Gerard, nah, not right now. I mean, she can't do more worse than Arteta really at this current moment in time. No one can at this current form. But you know, I don't know if the job is too big for Gerard. I don't know if he's ready for it at this moment. You know, he's done the hard yards. Unlike Arteta, he's managed a big club at Rangers and won a title there and doing his thing. You know, for me, he's got his feet wet doing Liverpool's under 18s. Fair enough, it's only under 18s, but you still have to manage. You know, I'm sure he's had to manage different personalities. I'm sure there's some academy players at Liverpool, like every club, that think they're better than what they are. People think they should be playing, justify why they're not. Tactics, end of the day, it's a league. There's a lot of things that you could learn. You know, Pep Guardiola was Barcelona B way before he was doing, you know, smacking up United at Wembley and all of those sort of things. DG on Twitch, mad, come on. It's your first time watching via Twitch. I am disappointed, man. This is the thing. He's a manager that has a clear vision. You have to understand that he's managed to have players who are average to follow his system. Are you speaking about Graham Potter or Arteta? I'm not sure, man. We've moved on from that, so I'm not too sure. Hell, I would even take Wenger back for half a season. As flawed as he was, he knew how to manage personalities. I mean, I would as well have my heart, but man, have to allow it, man. Have to allow it, bro. It's not no. It's like with Emre. Everyone's looking at Emre. It's a myth, man. Sure, you did, mate. Do you guys think we'll sign any more players? Well, for me personally, I'm a bit unsure as to whether Arsenal will sign players. I don't think so. I prefer Enrique over Conte. We don't have any Conte players. I think we've got some Conte players more than you think, and I don't think you're wrong. I agree, but I think we've got more Conte players than people give credit. And what's to say there's Luis Enrique players? What is a Luis Enrique player? I'd imagine technical ability. There's very few players that have consistent technical ability and the ability to do things in that pitch on that pitch for Arsenal. I'm not too sure, man. Man said Slippy G. I just clocked it. A man said, bro, you're too critical of Kovac. I haven't said anything. He's a good manager. I just went, and you're doing hella paragraphs. Allow me, S, man. I just said, literally, you know. There's plenty of managers that have done the hard graft, just like Graham Potter. I don't think Kovac is a bad gaffer. He's just a bit too much of a mad scientist for me. Bro, I've never felt so low. Pick yourself up, man. I'm personally shocked you haven't been given a trial, DG, boy. And this is it. He's all right. He's a bit pragmatic. I don't really get the sense of bravery, man. What is flawed in Arteta's ethos? Everything, you know, nothing, not a single facet seems to be working to us fans. So probably that. Simple as really, I'd say everything really, you know. Fundamentally, maybe the inability to effectively convey your instructions, you know, how, you know, we've got 50 people here, you know. I might tell you I need you to make a run, but the way I'm communicating that to you might not get the result I need versus him. I might be able to tell you verbally what to do. Some man have to be shown physically. Some people can be shown once. Certain people got to see 100 times. So maybe the communicational channels or how he's doing that is probably one of the major factors, I would say, personally. You'd definitely be a captain of the best right back in the league. I love it. I love it. With that sort of motivation, why not, man? Oh, man. But yeah, man. That's where we're at. Getting bad vibes from certain individuals. Every teacher has the same degree, but not all of them are good teachers. Boy, wait, facts, man. If Arteta was assistant coach at another big club, where would we play better considering how complex City's style is? I'm not sure, Josh. I don't understand the question, because if he's an assistant manager at our next club, he's our manager, so I can't really answer that because I don't really know, man. What you're trying to ask me. To play devil's advocate only, do you think Arsenal could improve if they backed Arteta long term? Like Oli hasn't won any trophies, but the club is at least a bit more stable than before. I suppose so, in theory, but again, maybe if you back in what we call backing, like spending proper money, bringing in better players, maybe something can happen. But for me to believe that, I need to see that you're able to get the best out of the tools you've been afforded to. So obviously, simply I can't answer the question that he's been fully supported like with Emre. So you might probably say, yeah, we probably would improve long term. To the scale or to the hype, I'm not too sure. Stability can never be understated, but it is a hype. Yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't know who, Josh. I still don't know who the manager of our club is. If Arteta's still assistant manager to say your question, then I don't know who our manager is. So who knows anything in relation to how we play. Sorry, I can't answer that question to the scale of what I would love to, but yeah, man, that's where we're at. Really. And we said yes. Both managers aren't good enough and need to go. Facts. But at the end of the day, how do you quantify who's a better manager, really? Because really, Oli versus Arteta, United fans and Arsenal fans, I'm sure we don't. But who wants to speak about that, bro? Like, who wants to really carry on with that? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, you could say Arteta's won a trophy. End of the day, Oli's been in the game significantly more than Arteta, so you'd expect him to have better managerial relations. I haven't been at Cardiff and Mulder and all of these things, but at the end of the day, Oli has got Champions League. Arteta hasn't, and Oli, like you said, man management. Even you can't keep everyone happy. Clearly, Lingard wouldn't have gone on loan if he was happy in terms of football, just purely football, because he can't play. I think Oli knows when to pick battles. He knows how to control things, and you saw it. That's the one thing he's been better at Jose. Been better at United over Jose. He plays the game. Arteta's tried to come puffing out his chest. All that talk about non-negotiables. Anyone who doesn't want to do this is out. All of these things to go with the propaganda. It gave an issue. It gave an issue. I don't know what's happening with Van der Beek, but you can't always keep everybody happy as much as you can. But I mean, if you was to look at Ollie's squad, our squad, away from the ability and where we are on the table, who's got more happier players? He protected Greenwood last year, took him out the squad when he needed to, and he's flourishing again. He's never turned his back on Pogba. Not that Bruno's had a bit of a negative time, but Bruno's been doing his thing. Even when you look at Henderson, De Gea, a couple players that have gone through nervy moments, there's been things. Lingard, he kept, we have sympathy for Lingard because of what's been going on off the field in relation to Lingard, but you get the point. But like someone said, it's trash versus garbage. Like, do you really, really? It's long, man. Like, it's long. Both are in privileged positions and wearing suits that don't fit them. It don't fit them really and truly. I like Van der Beek. I think he's a quality player, but the mentality, man, he like a bit like Odegaard. In a nice way, he suits playing for Arsenal. Like, obviously, if you watched Arsenal under Wenger, you see French players and all of these things and Spanish players, and you think of Dutch Johan Cruyff, it could be fantastic, really and truly. But it like a bit with Odegaard, and I'm keen to see in a positive way, Van der Beek would look like an Arsenal player. And when things are going wrong, I think he would look like a negative one. I don't like to say the word soft, but I know there's leading by example and things, and I'm not the guy who's on this, man are going down the pub drinking bare beer, slapping their chests, and that means they're a leader stuff. But I kind of think we need a bit more of them. We've got a lot of guys that lead by example, silent leaders, nice guys, but certain people can't react to adversity to the standard we should. Bro, mentality can't be a hype, bro. Mentality can't be a hype, man. Mentality can't be a hype. I never said he's not strong mentally. I never said Odegaard wasn't strong mentally. I said they lead by example. I think at Arsenal, we need a couple more old school leaders. Tony Adams, we've got lead by examples. We've got silent leaders. We've got guys that are probably more vocal than you give him credit for. This is why it's crucial to listen. I never once questioned his mentality. I never once said, Van der Beek doesn't have good mentality. I just think when things are going wrong, we need a bit more still. I think, Van der Beek could fit in on ability, but there's a bit of an issue in that regard. So, yeah, man, I would take Van der Beek, but that's the thing, man. You lot tried to get on me, bro. onto me. It's nothing to do. Is the mentality is there. Like with Odegaard, the same thing I'm saying. I think Odegaard gets a bad rep because I think he showed good mentality when we came from behind against Leicester. The game before we went out in the Europa League, even Willian played well, but he was there. The West Ham game, the Chelsea, the Spurs, that's leading by example. But I just don't feel, there's leaders by example, there's silent leaders, they're just people you look at and they're with it. But I just think, and I don't advocate shouting for the sake of it. Now, AM, it's not you. I don't advocate shouting and carrying on for the sake of it, but it just feels like we need a bit more nastiness around us. Fair enough, you've got Xhaka. I mean, anyone that goes to the ground, Xhaka's shouting half the time. Louise was quite vocal. Marie's actually more, Louise, sorry if I didn't make it clear. Marie is more vocal than people give it credit for, but he don't really trust himself, does he? So it's one of them ones, man. I would love to take Van der Beek, man. I just think Van der Beek's one of them confidence, man, and Arteta, I think he will give confidence to guys like that and Odegaard, and then they'll play amazing. So I would be on it, but I don't know what's happening with Van der Beek at United. You hope he gets a chance, but you'd have to speak to United fans or Ollie and all of those sort of things for an informed opinion. What else is there to speak about? Hard to say, man. No Arsenal stuff. DG, that fake Arsenal fan shouting in his Marjay's car looked like a joke, man, in that vid. Man, do it for such views. That's what's antagonizing about being an Arsenal fan, bro. You do the ridiculously positive thing. Like, you could go viral of being like, let's be real. There's people that every manager's got favorites, bro. But there's people that could, even though Arsenal are, terrible, you could get blow on YouTube of just saying we're winning the league, we're this. There's probably some positive statistics somewhere you could find. Equally, you can just screaming, shouting, acting like it gets you far. And that guy's a joke, man. I mean, he's got, I don't know his name. I wouldn't give him clout anyway. It's not that he needs it because he's gone viral of being a clown. He's got a lot of them, I have to start rushing man like that, really. Pardon my language. It's like the first thing you want to do is let me go to my mum's car, put on the camera, scrunch up my face, spit all over the dashboard and stuff. It's wet, man. It's moist. Absolutely moist. But it is what it is, man. We need players that can coach on the pitch, someone to steal the shit, and that's it. And I think that's a whole collective squad. The best footballers are the best decision makers. You have to listen to the manager's tactics. But if you're a midfielder, like if you're Xhaka, really, you have to help out wide. But it's not your direct sort of, what's the word? It's not your responsibility. But if you can see, Tini's over. If you look over, Tini's over covering for Marie, right? Saka's not looking in. Let me get in there, or let me shout at man to make sure they're in these places. And people need to be leaders. I don't care for this captain ban crap, As much as I think it's important, bro, I should not be able to see a captain in a positive sense. Everyone should be a captain. And that doesn't mean just shouting and carrying on and behaving a certain way. I need to see 11 captains. You look at any squad, there is 11. Any team that has won any trophy at any period, they've had 11 resolute mentalities, more so focusing on the league. At some point, even if we go through all of them, the Invincibles, 11 captains, United sides, everyone held themselves accountable in some sort of way, and etc. Chelsea the same. You've had Terry, Jogba, and I don't even like John Terry for obvious reasons. Frank Lampard, all of these guys, everybody led and stood up to be counted in their own way. There's no point talking about the same 4, 5, 6 max at Arsenal because we're a 25-man squad. My maths is quite poor, so 8 take away 25. Someone worked that out for man. That's the negativity we're going against. You need to change the mentality of them other man. And then you've got a manager facilitating and rewarding mediocrity as well. So, boy, it's pretty damning then, isn't it, really, people? It's pretty damning. Pretty damning. When we had Emre and Arteta was at City, would we have had a better style of play if he wasn't at City, for example, at Leeds, simply because of the attacking football they play? Josh, I'm not trying to boy you, bro. I don't get it, bro. When we had Emre and Arteta, when we had Emre and Arteta was at City, would we have a better style of play if he wasn't at City, but for example, at Leeds, simply because of, I follow you now. So you're saying if he wasn't assisting at City and the Pep stuff and he was somewhere else, Bielsa probably help you a lot more than Pep in a sense of Bielsa will take you to primary school. Pep, I'm not saying he wouldn't, but I get the vibe anyways with the players and the coaching. You need to understand football. You need to have certain things locked down. There's certain things that got to be in place before you're doing your thing under Pep. Bielsa will take you to school, in it like that. I think Bielsa would have been a better teacher if that's what you're asking me. There's even more experience. I think Arteta needs to be taken back to basics. You know, you can talk about all these crisscross free at the back stuff. You need to be able to read things. And I think there's a lot of naivety. You need to be able to show a basic game plan. And, you know, to be fair, there is a similarity in that you hear Arteta is very meticulous about his coaching and stuff, but there's got to be a balance. So I probably still see the same thing, because you can have as many ideas, you can work under as many managers as you want. You've got to be doing it. Let's be fair. Sometimes some men are just meant to be assistant managers. I'm not saying that's Arteta, but there's some guys that are brilliant. You know, Curtis made the great point, and so did my guy P as well, or Prince, on WhatsApp, and so did Gerald Lammy. Make sure you're taking in Coach and Curtis and whatnot on YouTube. Some men are good with being number twos. You know, when your mandate is whatever. You know, Pep might say, you know what, for this week, go work with a Sterling. That's cool. If you're the manager, you might still want to work with him, but you've got to either delegate time to other people, you know, because there's only a certain amount of hours in a day. And at the end of the day, you need to focus on the week. So if you're going to say, you know what, Gabriel, you know, Gabriel Ben White, I'm going to work with you lot so you lot can pattern your pivot, you know, or I'm going to work with the whole defensive unit. He needs to delegate properly, or have the coaches in place that are going to deal with the rest of the squad. Or if he wants to deal with the collective squad, like I said, you have to get 3 points on the weekend. Pull these other man to the side and say, listen, go work with Saka, go work on crosses, go work on corners, go do this, go do that, you know, go and pretend you're working with Willian, but just drive him off to the next station, probably Cockfosters and whatever, and just leave him there. Things like that. You've got to do things like that. And whatnot. So it'll probably be more of the same. You can have all the other ideas, but when you've got a million things, you need to simplify, and it's difficult. So probably see more of the same, Josh, if I'm completely honest with you. And obviously on the topic of, you know, you need good number twos. You know, I'm sure there's guys that are as vital to winning those league titles as Pep, because Pep is the face of it and he gets the praise and the criticisms that come with it, and the other guys don't. But I'm sure they was as important and they've helped him along the way. Some of these guys, they're not going to be good number ones. How many number twos have you seen in football? Pep coaches go off all the time and go and be managers and things, and it doesn't always work out, you know. And that's not to criticize them. It's just, it might not be your time. You just might, you know, some guys are meant to be good managers. They're not meant to be good, you know, good number twos and coaches. Some footballers are meant to be pundits. They're not meant to be coaches because they haven't got the ability to coach. They haven't got the patience to coach. You know, certain things are just not for people, if I'm completely honest, in my opinion, anyways. Change that time zone. What if Arteta was always meant to be only a number two? Let's say assistant, because number two would assume he's shit. And I don't want to egg on you, internet folk. Make sure you're following and whatnot, people. Obviously, if you don't know already, make sure you're taking me in on YouTube and things. After this, there'll be an hour break. You can go and catch some content you've missed up, and then we'll come again on Twitch for the Football Manager content. It's going to be a gazy one. Probably need to get some snacks in for that one. Oh yeah, it is what it is, man. That's it. Josh, let me know if I've answered that properly, but I think that's what you was getting at. Took me a while to clock, my guy. SARS from Mets gone to Spurs, apparently. Such a shame, because now I'm gonna have to call him shit, bro. Chelsea have leaders / potential leaders in the team. We like that. And that's the thing. There's all different individuals in that Chelsea team. You've got Aspilicueta, he's a bit of leading by example and telling man what you need to hear, you know. You've got him. You've got young Chalobah, who might not be a main guy in the team, but when you called upon, he's there. You've got the Rudigers, you know. You've got people who can... Kepa might be shit, but you can tell he likes to speak, to the point where he didn't want to get subbed many years ago. You've obviously got the conventional leaders, and, you know, there's different sorts of leadership, and I feel in this country, a lot of nonsense is praised, you know. A lot of sometimes shouting and G'ing up, man, does a lot worse. Sometimes you can hide, you know. I think a lot of problems in this game, if you run around for no reason and just exert their energy and fly into tackles and act like you care and do hand signs, people lap it up. Other countries, that's a lack of movement. Why do you think players who don't smile when things, man, say they got attitude, chip on their shoulder, this, that, and the other? There's a lot of competencies and luxuries afforded to British football fans and British football that for me, is why we lack just general understanding of the game. I think if you got a bunch of football fans, anyone, excluding myself, because I know my team from Spain, Italy, England, I think England would have the worst opinions. Terrible opinions. Terrible opinions, man. No ball like that here. The guys are not true students of their game here. People live for hot takes and bullshit. Look at the pundits. My brethren's Italian. He put me onto one Italian podcast. I have to listen to it with subtitles and stuff sometimes. I only watch it when I'm with him in his whip and that. I think it's got Cassano. It's got a couple of them old Italian ballers, and obviously he can listen via Italian, but I'm watching via England, and the way they talk about football, like footballers, the way they talk about certain training methods that I don't have any examples and I don't know the name of it, but I'm sure Cassano's on it. So go and do your research. The way they speak compared to what we see with Danny Mills and Jermaine Genius, and sometimes it's not even it doesn't mean it's just the best players have the best opinions. It's nobodies or people who were nobodies sometimes as well, with exception to Cassano because he wasn't that. We just lack common sense in this country. Like it really, this is why unless it's you lot or it's people in my close circle, I don't talk, or obviously when you meet people and that, I don't like to talk about football with people because I don't find it's an enjoyable exercise. And on top of that, you've got the agendas. I'm not saying only people from here or that are followers of this have agendas, but you have the agendas. You don't have purity and loving the game for what it's supposed to be. That's how I view it. And that's why we're behind for bare things, man. That's why this country is just maybe not so much now, but just gonna copy what's ever popping. If Spain start balling again, we're going back to the tiki-taka. If Brazil start doing their thing, we're going back to that. When all these other countries were inspiring, players that come from, the hood or tough environments and whatnot, it's we were looking down on it. We was coaching it out. Now everybody wants a Jadon Sancho, a Eze, and all of these guys. You know how difficult it was to get scouted, let alone signed. And if you got signed, that's getting coached out of your game. It's whatever. Now it's all the rage, these street ballers and things, Before it's, he got a chip on his shoulder and all of this and all this nonsense, bro. The English game is always going to be behind. Trust me, it's always going to be behind unless it fix up, unless fans and the whole everything fix up, man. It's crazy. Switch your category. What the hell? Wasn't in sport. That's an L. Josh, love for that. It should be in sport. I set up to be in sport. Good catch. This is why I love Twitch, Josh, my guy. YouTube could never. The fuck? Hope it weren't in FM. Oh, I tried to set up 2 streams. Done me dirty. Love for that. It was in talk shows. What the fuck? Pardon my French. Talk shows? Let me show you here. Why is it an L? Because I've still got the same screen here. Like, let me. I don't know if this is. Let's just do it anyways. Oh, I set it up yesterday. Like, ain't that the sports category, broski? Hey man, you Twitch guys trying to do me dirty, bro. That's the sport. Like, I haven't changed that screen, so I'm a bit shocked. But anyways, we go again, man. Talk shows, raw. They must have thought I was DZ Mills or something. But we move, man. We move. DG, when Willian was at Chelsea, he played 30 games. He used to be decent in at least 15 and averaging 5 and pure-ish in the rest. But since he moved to Arsenal, he has been utter-ish all the time. I think it's the coaching letting Arsenal down. I've got so much feelings about Willian. I'm trying to compose myself and remain professional. I think Willian is poor at it. I always think in life, like with Aubameyang, he's not scoring, or if you're a defender, you're not defending well. You need to ask yourself why. You can't be blamed. If I'm a striker, I can't really be sitting there and saying that no one's creating for me, this and that. You in life, you need to take accountability. But by the same token of that, there can be no coincidence why Willian, on top of Willian just being rubbish anyways, Willian is struggling. Aubameyang is struggling. Not a single player is excelling on the goal front. As much as I'm saying that about Willian, he was tied for most assists from us last year. So there's a lack of respect for attacking play, or Arteta is thinking so much about the opposition or is so scared about our frailties that he's not moving forward in that regards. I don't know, man. StreamYard is a joke. Yeah, man. StreamYard must be cop blocking the thing, man. What the hell? I guess, you know what? It's back to basics next time, just streaming through Twitch normally. Appreciate that, my dude. But yeah, anyways, it's got to be, some of it has to be on Arteta, man. Like, it's not a single player. And this is why I said you have to look at the coaching. This is why I wanted Odegaard. I want Aouar. I want another striker if it can be done long term. But signings are only half the job. You have to get something out of them. And I don't see enough attacking style of play and all these things to say that people are going to excel. You don't. you know, especially where we are, every signing or every player should fit a piece to a puzzle, you know. I hope Ramsdale does well, but is it clear how good he is with his feet at the back for playing from the back? You signed players who you've signed a couple of centre halves, with exception to Gabriel and Ben White. I'm not saying they're poor on the ball, but they're limited. Gabriel and Marie is extremely limited, so you're only going to get to a certain scale. And then obviously you haven't fixed the pivot in midfield, so that's going to harm us in all sorts of ways. And that's obviously going to harm the 10 because the 10's going to have to drop. The 10 drops. Service reliant strikers like Aubameyang are never going to bang. So a lot of it is down to the gaffer, really and truly. You could sign MSN in their prime. We probably, yeah, they would do well, but probably not going to score as many goals as they could because of what we're doing on the training ground or not doing on the training ground. It's crazy, man. Look at how West Ham thriving under Moyes. Again, time will tell, but exactly. Man have to have clarity in what they're doing. We signed Wan-Bissaka to play out from the back. To be fair with you, I think Wan-Bissaka, like, it's like, you know what, he has to improve going forward. But I think people move like I can't lie. I don't know how he got that far at Crystal Palace being a winger and then convert into a right back. I think maybe there's some brown envelopes. I genuinely don't know. Or you must have just been bigger than everyone and bullying everyone. But same way, I think people, it's one of them, people just make a lot out of it because, you know, I'd actually say Wan-Bissaka's biggest problem now is actually the fact that he's always sliding and the fact that, you know, sometimes I think he switches off when people make a run off him. I don't think he's as bad on the ball as people make out. It's like Trent defensively. People move like Trent is pony defensively. But if you say enough things enough times, it becomes true in certain people's eyes, man. Premier League is dominating all European clubs, positivity high. Bro, Premier League's doing their thing, but when did we do this, man? Like, you know, Premier League, let's see. You know, fair enough, we're doing our thing in the Prem. You know, we got to a Europa League final. United let us down. You know, it's happy to say someone let us down. It weren't Arsenal for once, even though we didn't get there. You know, we won the champs and things. Well, I never won the champs. Chelsea won the champs. But at the same time, how long until when last was we doing that? Is it our time now? I'm not too sure, man. You know, is it, you know, is it our time now? Because I wouldn't say we've dominated, but fair play. He is, in my opinion, he takes 3-4 touches just to control the ball. Sometimes he's pretty tired in that regards, man. Wan-Bissaka is a bad team defender, elite 1v1 though. Even the 1v1s are overstated, and I wouldn't say he's bad for the team. He just got a lot to improve, and I don't know if Ollie's the guy to do that. But why do you think it is like that? I'm not sure. What was we referring to then? I'm not too sure what you was on then, man. But fair play. You lot got to put some context behind that. Bro, Wan-Bissaka is extremely limited on the football. I'm not saying he's not, but he's not trash. He's not mad trash. There's a lot of improvements that needs to be done, but he's not trash. Like, he's not dog poo. Is it, you know, is it good enough for United? Does it need to improve? These are all other things. I'm just saying it's not trash. Maybe it's, you know me, I'm biased to fullbacks. I'll always back fullbacks. But yeah, man. This is also a good point. There's only so much these players can do while being instructed to play a certain way that doesn't play to their strength. That's true. If you don't do what you're told, you're not going to play. But at the same time, you know, that excuse only goes so far. But fundamentally, it goes back to my fundamental reason in relation to that is the man behind me. I don't know what side he is on you lot screen, but Mikel Arteta. Oh, you was referring to about the English game and why they want to take the street baller out because they're seen as edgy, bro. Now it's cool to have a chip on your shoulder and that because let's be real, 9 times obviously you get a Grealish and them man there, but 9 times out of 10, them flashy ballers or the guys that we were speaking about, it's the man them. Like we know what it was, so you know why, man. Yeah, I'm not team MMA. I don't think you're stating me. I'm not saying there's not improvement. I just feel the sentiment would have you feel that he's mad tired. But I'm not saying there doesn't need to be improvements. A good manager builds a system that hides his players' weaknesses and enhances their strengths. Ding, ding, ding. Or if you see their deficiencies and they might not be levels, you don't play them. And you mitigate against that. But boy, I refuse to believe he was a right winger for Palace as well, man. I think there must have been some dodgy dealings or his dad must have been the biggest dad in the training ground and just beating people up if you don't believe much, because I don't know how he got that far. It's a bit like Bellerin, man. It's a bit, I don't know, but I look at Bellerin. I know you was a lot better when you first came and you actually looked a bit like a Barca player, but genuinely look at you. How did you get scouted? How was you a winger? It's a madza. Mazza. How do you think Ten Hag would do for United? Not a clue, really, but I think he would look to address that midfield. I think he would enhance a lot. I think in theory he would do well. Of course, you never know until they become your gaffer or they go to these clubs and whatnot. But yeah, man. Hopefully, I've answered that. What else is going on in the footballing world? So much Arsenal. So see how my mood just feels so much better, folks. Like we're just speaking about football neutrally. Obviously, there's 1-2 Arsenal things and whatnot, but it is what it is. Oh, there's 1-2 bits and pieces. So I guess we can speak about this. Where's all the emerging headlines gone? Sorry, folks. As you lot can see, first things first, apparently Chelsea in talks with Rudiger over a new deal. He's played 153 games for the Premier League club. Rah! As you lot know, he's in the final 12 months. And I feel that's a bit, if you lot can still hear me and we haven't froze, I feel that's a big testament to how he's really turned a corner. He looked like he was gone under Antonio Conte. He looked like he had no future under Antonio Conte, and he's made it happen for himself. He's made it happen for himself, and now he's in talks to get a new deal. They tried to sell him last year, and he's gone and done his thing. So credit to Rudiger. I mean, Rudiger, I don't like the team he played for, but I like his attitude, man. I like, the way he's spoken about his upbringing. I like how you can just, maybe it's because I'm an Arsenal fan, but it might it sounds stupid, but I just feel we have defenders that don't like defending. And what I mean by that is obviously Rudiger likes the ball play. He was violating us. He's trying to cross it for Lukaku, the outside of his right boot. But he likes defending. He takes things personally if I don't keep a clean sheet. I don't see that with my guys. And you just tell he wants to be serious for the club. Whatever Chelsea's ambitions are this season, him, Lukaku, a couple of them are very serious about what they're doing, people. Away from that, though, McTominay's obviously picked up a knock. Robertson, and so he's not in it, but Robertson and Tierney have been called up to the Scotland squad now. For me personally, with Tierney taking a bit of a knock, and obviously Robertson's just got back to full fitness. I really don't want them going off to these things, if I'm honest with you. On that topic as well, people, on the topic of Robertson, the second best Scottish left back in the league, apparently he has signed a new contract at Liverpool until 2026. So yeah, they've confirmed his future for a significant period. So they're doing what they have. It must be nice to see people being proactive around deals and the rest of it. It must be very nice. You say Rudiger new deal, Robertson new deal. What else is there going on in the footballing world, folks? Contract talks for Rudiger. Yeah, with the Arteta thing dead. Like whether that happens or not. Harry Kane, I don't know what's going on with him. Like, I don't know. Someone, moderator, start a poll. Will Harry Kane actually get that City move? I don't know, man. It seems like it's in the balance still. I can't even cap. Will it happen? Won't it happen? I don't have a clue, man. I really don't. Declan, right? The only person who shagged themselves even more is probably Zaha and Rice. You lot all signed these deals, and then you could still want to leave, You scratch my back, I scratch your sort of thing. But boy, you lot signed these Suge Knight death row deals and then act baffled. None of you really want to force the ball out to leave any of these clubs, man. Sorry for hitting that, people. Sorry, my guy. You asked this earlier, so let me answer this. DG, you watched the West Ham game? If so, what did you make of it, bro? Ben Rama's trying to remind guys what the championship Ben Rama was on, but he started well. Shout out to Antonio for getting his record. Positive side, West Ham are moving. Probably can't even get onto the owners again. So it was fantastic to see a team that looked like they had structure, to look like whatever they worked on all week, they're showing it. Togetherness. Obviously, 10-man helped them, but bro, they absolutely blitzed Leicester. Leicester had a rare day off. I need to see it again, but from what I remember when I first thought of it, I didn't think it was a red card first time around. So he has a mistake in him, like he showed in the cup final, and they got away with it. But that was a clanger. So yeah, man, I'd say that. Shout out for the Suge Knight reference. Come on, my guy. Come on. Cunha to Athletic for 30 million. Not amazing stats, but he's impressed me, bro. When I was watching Guendouzi on loan at Hertha Berlin, I liked him. There's a lot more development. His decision making sometimes overruns it, shoots when he doesn't need to, passes when he doesn't. But he's someone that might have the ability to grow and develop. And I don't know how much you're going to thrive in that system. And you're going to have to learn a lot. But I think it's a good thing. I mean, you've even heard PSG are looking at Richarlison if Mbappe gets cold feet about staying. I'm not sure that's a suitable replacement, but could be done, man. I'd rather you try buy Harry Kane or Mo Salah or someone, man. You know, take one of these players that love scoring against Arsenal week in, week out. You know, nip Lukaku in the bud as well. Bro, Liverpool are handling business. That's a core of their squad. You know, Van Dijk, I'm sure Van Dijk signed a new deal not too long ago. There was talk of him signing one. You know, commiserations to what's happened with Fabinho's family, you know, condolences and whatnot with him losing his father. But Fabinho, a pillar in that Liverpool team. Alisson, pillar in that Liverpool team. Trent, pillar and golden boy. And if he's not already, that captain, when all, you know, Van Dijk, Salah, Mane, Firmino, as much as I like these players, all of these players are here for now. With the exception of Alisson, he's a keeper. You're looking at Robertson's not that old, but the Trents, the Robertsons, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, you know, that sort of age, they're going to, and obviously new people are going to be brought in. These are the guys for the future. And so you've locked down Trent. Trent will probably get another new deals. Liverpool recognize that you have to keep rewarding people, if I'm completely honest with you. So, yeah, man, you know, Liverpool are doing the right things, really, if I'm completely honest with you. Liverpool are doing the right things. I wish Arsenal behaved like this. And I know FFG deserve a lot of criticism, but this proactiveness, absolute proactiveness is what I have to applaud by Liverpool, man. Leicester are shallow at centre-back. I mean, they got Vestergaard. I heard he's injured as well. So, boy, you seen Zuma to West Ham? Big signing for West Ham. If I'm Zuma, I'm only going if I'm getting a big contract in terms of longevity and finances. So, yeah, someone mentioned Brendan Williams going on loan to Norwich. I mean, he needs to go play in it. So he needs to go do his thing. And that's a good club to be at. They got him, Billy Gilmore. You know, I don't know if they actually want him, but can they take Eddie Nketiah permanently? Can we, you know, can Reece Nelson go there? You know, again, I know Saliba wanted to go back to France, but that might have been a good place for him as well. And for other young players at other clubs as well, like if Harvey Elliott wasn't going to get an opportunity at Liverpool, that would have been a fantastic place for him, man. Hopefully we see more progress in relation to outgoings as well, man. Fabrizio Romano update on Willian. Well, it can't be anything of significant, M, because you would have probably got me excited and told me what exactly he's saying. So it can't be anything certain, man. Yeah. So yeah, let me make a timestamp. Sorry, folks. Willian update. Saw to Spurs. What a signing that is from Spurs. And I mean, bro, you can already see with Spurs, with that Patrici done, they're signing people from the Italian. An Italian is signing people from the Italian league or going after people from the Italian league. If they're not Italian by obviously nationality, they're playing in that league. Brazilian technical director. Obviously, it's difficult. There's work permits, but I don't see the whole South American market being utilized. I don't see a signing that reflects you. And if he's not going for people in that league, clearly Spurs need people that have potential and resale value. So they're going to bag Sarr. I wanted Sarr of Mets for Arsenal. I got my wish that he's in North London. Unfortunately, he'll be going to Enfield instead of London Coley, which I don't think is technically in London. That's more Hertfordshire, our training ground next to Thingy. Next to Watford. So it's an L. It's unfortunate that the minute Sarr signs for Spurs from Mets, I'm gonna have to slander him and say, well, he's not that good. You know, I mean, look at Ndombele. It's like, you know, City wanted him, PSG wanted him. Why didn't no one take a chance? And they want to sell him now. I've got to be shameless, unfortunately, man. I've got to be shameless. Saliba is clear of Sarr and it's not close. I mean, Sarr's a centre mid, that's a centre half. One's of African heritage, one's probably of African heritage historically, but a France international. So unless there's a defensive Sarr you're on about, It's a myth, broski. But yeah, for what it's worth in relation to, I would have rathered Sarr going to Villa. Maybe it's one of them where his advisors are asking for a lot because it looked like he was going to Villa at a point, but things can happen in the market. Fabrizio Romano has said Corinthians' proposal for Willian is on the table since yesterday. Contract offer until 2023 or 2024. What's the all business? Bro, give this man what he wants. Talks on going on salary situation as Arsenal are prepared to let him leave on a free. So it's up to Willian. How much money do you want to forego? Now we're going to see if you're really on this playing football thing or you want to make peace. Willian's priority is for European clubs, but Corinthians are confident. Now anything can change in relation to the end. I mean, in relation to until the window's closed. But bro, nobody wants you in Europe. Everyone can see you're a dud. Allow it, man. Come on. Anyways, that's that on Willian, man. Let's talk about things that are better. As you lot can see here, Sarr to Tottenham, agreement reached, and here we go. Deal set to be completed for 15 million euros. If he develops, there's a significant upsell to that. Personal terms agreed on a verbal basis, waiting for contracts to be signed. Verbal basis. So please mess it up. Please, Sarr's advisors, please change it up. Please add a bit more zeros. Apparently, Tottenham are open to let Sarr stay at Metz on loan until next season. And he's a very young man. There's something to be said in giving him a next year in France, if I'm completely honest with you, developing. He's got a lot to work on. He's still very raw in many aspects, but that's what you'd expect of an 18, 19-year-old. Fantastic signing from Spurs. But I mean, I thought Ndombele was a fantastic signing for Spurs. So, boy, and really, Davinson Sanchez to a degree because he was looking good at Ajax. But boy, let's hope that Sarr can follow on that same token. Really and truly. I don't really know, man. Hope and pray and all that. Oh, thought you meant Ismail Star. No. To be fair, Spurs allegedly want him. Apparently, they want him. Apparently, they want Adama Traore. Personally, but I not really feeling the Adama thing. I know he's worked with Nuno, and obviously he can play wing back, but and he is a Spanish international, but he's not rubbish. He's a monster when he gets going, but it's like that brain just turns into a pea-sized something in the final third. That's why you're not at a big club with respect to Wolves, because they are. That's why, Deulofeu's had the journeyman career. They have seen so many footballers that are sick, but the decision-making. When you're shooting, you're passing. When you're passing, you're meant to shoot and all of these sort of things and whatnot. In relation to Harry Kane staying, folks, I can't lie. I'm starting to think he will. It's now or never saloon for City, but I'm not on the negotiation table, man. Without Kane, it could be peak for them, but that's where Son and these guys have to step up. What happened to Benkovic at Leicester too, bro? I don't know, man. You'd have to ask him. Villa now linked with McKennie or Thomas Delaney now. Apparently, I think they're having. You could get Delaney, but I think they're taking you lot on a run because wasn't he meant to be going Sevilla or something? McKennie, Juventus want to sell allegedly after having him on loan and then taking him permanently. I don't know what's going on there, but that would be a good signing for you lot as well. Obviously, I don't know what's going on with the Ward-Prowse business. You lot were linked with him. He signed a new deal, so it's one of them. No composure in the final third at all, man. I just have to criticize them heavy, bro. I'm shameless with it. When someone good sign for Spurs, all of a sudden, boy, I can't wait, boy. Well, there's got to be a reason as to why he didn't sign. You look at Ndombele, he was great in the champs. You've got to wonder why no one bidded for him, and now you see what's going on at Spurs. You have to question this and that. You have to be shameless with it, man. Most clubs take us on a run to get players on deals, man. I know how you feel, and probably all clubs are taking on some sort of dodgy dealings and lies and round the houses at periods in the window like now, man. Would you have taken Dumfries for 12.5 million at Arsenal? Well, you can't really go wrong with that, but I'm not going to sit here and cap. All the things I'm seeing from him are going forward now. That's what the modern fullback needs. That's what we need. But defensively, toilet, bro. Now, going to Italy, going to Inter, that's going to, whatever food they give you, whatever they do, whatever magical powers they give you, you'd imagine he's able to defend now. But based on Arsenal improving players or improving specific weaknesses in promising players, it's not going to happen, is it? So he'll be wavy going forward. He's not the same player, but I look at Nuno Tavares, you know, and I'm not concerned about Tavares, but I'm keen to learn about Tavares because everyone I spoke to, good going forward, shaky defensively. I know the modern day fullback, you got to bomb down that flank, but you still got to defend. And I think in a back three could be good. In the little things Nuno has played, he's been good, but nobody's really praised him defensively. I ain't seen you tested defensively because you ain't played much. The man himself, when questioned about his ability, he's talking about shooting with his right foot. Before he's talking about I'm good 1v1, I don't let crosses in, I cover well. And I'm not trying to criticize him. I'm just saying, you know, a modern day fullback, you need you to go forward, but defensively, there must be frailties in the 21-year-old. So how are we going to arrest that? Same way, how are we going to take several of these young players to the next level? You know, not everyone can be what we think Saka, Martinelli, and Smith Rowe could, but Balogun might become a competent goal scorer for the squad, you know, and the rest of these young players in and around, whether they've been sourced in or not, Nuno, Lokonga, everybody else of the same sort of ilk. I want Mbabu. I'm not really the biggest fan on him. He's good, but I'm not really feeling him. I'm not really feeling him still. I mean, by default, he gets him. We ain't got no right back in that, but I'm not really feeling him, bro. I can't sit here and capture. I'm not really feeling it, man. Two-way wingbacks are extremely rare these days. Mentioned him before, but Nathan Patterson at Rangers is 19 and fits that profile. I'd have to do my research. But to be fair with you, they are rare, but we see it at Liverpool. And I wouldn't even know. I just need us to be. We don't really need wing backs. We just need competent players, man. Like you can get forward when required. You can defend 1v1. You tuck in. I mean, it's just a Mazzolini, man. But you're right, though, man. Why has no one taken a gamble on Aaron's yet? Finance, maybe, you know, Wolves, man said Wolves. Norwich have shown if you want to negotiate with us, you can't think just because we're promoted, we get relegated, people are leaving on the cheap. You know, Buendia, fair enough, when they got relegated, Buendia didn't set the world alight. But when it became apparent teams wanted him, you had to go for it. I would like Aaron's, but you know, maybe nobody, you know, maybe people wanted to guard their finances a bit better. I'm not going to lie. I do think people look at Max Aarons with rose tints. I think he's a quality player. I think he can be an even better player. But I think defensively, he's kind of toilet. He does a lot of good things. There's a lot to work on. He can't really follow runners. I feel in the final third, he's not really that effective. We should have went for Livramento as well. But to be fair, we're not going to agree. And I don't think any club's going to agree to a sell-on clause and a buyback clause for Chelsea. You know, it helps Chelsea because Chelsea are making bucks on a player that ain't played a first team appearance for them. And they made like 5 million on him. They've got a sell-on fee and the option to bring him back. So if anything happens with Reece James, something's going on there or whatever. Reece James might say, you know, I want to leave, or Reece James might not kick on. They've got other things to do. And then we all forget about Lamptey. You know, there's Livramento, there's Lamptey. There's got to be, you know, death comes in threes. Where's the third right back? Arsenal get involved. He has the potential to be class, but he ain't right now. Facts. Chelsea something else 100%. What do you think about a lot of clubs, sorry, people. Hey, this is how you know my eyes are hurting me. I've been staring at the screen. I can't lie. That made no sense there. Sorry, my dude. What do you think about a lot of clubs linked to him last year and not much this year? Boy, well, he didn't set the world alight last year, but that could be our game. You know, you might never had a better chance to grab him. You know, I don't really know. Maybe, you know, I look at a lot of the clubs. A lot of the clubs are affected financially, and they're trying to do the moves they're trying to do take greater precedence and priority than actually ours. So these things might be what's going against him. What do you think of Terry Small's bad boy? Good going forward, you know, good physical attributes as well. Plays with his head up. Very naive in certain aspects defensively, but you'd expect a young man to have that. Like him a lot, man. You're moving mad maps. Would take Kafala Arsenal, but he's 29 and West Ham obviously won't sell him. Never seen him have a terrible game. I have. He plays with his heart, but the ladder. Is what it is, people. But I can't lie, folks. We're working to a tight schedule. I'm going to be back in under an hour, you know, for Football Manager business. But right now, I need to go get something to eat. I need to go to the post office. And I'm always eating. You lot must think I'm fat. And I need to go to, what did I say as well? The chemist. Good thing I remember them all off by heart. So I'll be back in a bit. You know, I'll be back in a bit. I know about Calvin Bassey. That's the guy who played against us on in pre-season. Black guy, right? Or maybe I'm wrong, but I'm sure it is. He's a decent little player as well, and I like his upbringing and all those sort of things. Yeah, the 21-year-old. That's the black brother. Yeah, man. Yeah. So he's decent still, but I'm gonna be back soon, man. I'm gonna be back soon. Who are you managing? Arsenal, of course, best team in the world, or best team in my football manager world. So I'm gonna be back, people. So yeah, man, go and take in my other content, get a little breather, and we'll be back. And hopefully Twitch won't do nothing stupid. And I'll actually be able to set it for the football manager category, and we'll actually get to play FM. Of course, the editor settings on, man. You know, it's gotta be gazy like that. But I'll catch you lot in a piece, man. On that note, people, DG. I'm out, and you know I don't normally do this on Twitch, but
There's always just that active red flag defenders. I think it's like.
banger, that's a banger still.
Yeah, against this right back, Charlie.